Finally, Maria laid her head back. Not her family. Not Andres. Emerson. Maria's eyes were still closed when he pulled his boxers on. She thought today would be special. But now that it was over, it seemed so mundane. Sex could be happening on every school night, or in the mornings before she got on the train, and as long as nobody was around to hear it, nobody would ever know. This was an exhilarating fact as much as it was dreadful. It hadn't been good enough to want to repeat over and over again. "Should we go get food?" Maria asked. Andres said nothing. He still hadn't picked up his shirt off the floor. The morning light streaked his abdomen. He was 17, like her. But unlike her, he worked out every day at the gym. Every time she looked at him, she appreciated his beauty. His shoulders were like a yoke. His lower stomach narrowed into an arrow that always pointed downward. "You move like a corpse," he said. "And you sure you're a virgin? You didn't even bleed." Maria flinched. He was right. Virgins always suffered the most. From her endless religion classes at Bell Seminary, she knew that much was true. Mary, most obviously, who watched her only son undergo the most gruesome public death. Saint Agatha, whose wealthy family couldn't save her from having her breasts chopped off before languishing in prison. And St. Lucy, whose devotion to God was so singular that she gouged out her own eyes after a suitor told her they were the loveliest shade of brown he'd ever seen. All of these virgins had suffered, but none of them had even flinched. Not like Maria had just now, at the thought of being a corpse. "I didn't realize," Maria said. The bow of her lip was trembling. It was still so early that she didn't hear anyone outside. Her window faced the front of the house, and usually on a nice Saturday in May, there was the song of children playing. By noon, the ice cream truck would take over. But now, it was quiet. She could be noisier next time. Saints suffered in silence. But Andres didn't know that. He wanted to be able to hear it. "Let's try again," she said. "Let's do it one more." The sound of a key turning ripped into Maria's bedroom, as if it were her own doorknob being pushed. "Hide!" She jumped up from the bed. Andres threw her forest green beanbag toward the door and ducked at the foot of her twin mattress. Because they shared a front door and entry hall with the people upstairs, the house resembled an apartment unit, and her parents were already in the living room just as she switched off her light. They were talking outside her closed door. Andres and Maria held their breaths. "She's asleep," her mother said. Maria strained to listen. She heard her parents' feet make contact with the linoleum divider that separated the dining room from the living room. The kitchen was at the end of the house, and attached to it was a door that led out back. Once you were there, the hum of the refrigerator and the whir of the ceiling fan were so loud, you might not notice footsteps in the living room. They had an open floor plan, but the kitchen was in a nook to the left of the house, just behind her parents' bedroom. And back there, it was impossible to see the front door. "Get up," Maria whispered. But Andres didn't move. She peeked over her mattress, where he had sprawled out on her gradient floor rug, striped in pink and violet. He was holding her journal open. It was a gift from a second cousin whom Maria had only met once when she visited New York from Ecuador. And the cover image was made of gold leaf and depicted a magical forest with purple mushrooms. As a girl with 3 piercings in her upper cartilage, who just celebrated her 17th birthday that March, Maria knew she had long outgrown it. Secretly, though, she wrote poems in it every night, with pens that alternated between red, blue, and green.